MVFF Swansea, Season 6, Matchday 3 with your coach Howell. This is the Roundup and I hope you're well. Huge apologies I wasn't there last night. I'm currently in Denmark with work, and a huge point of gratitude here to our assistant coaches. And that's Kyle, Chizzy, Clayton and Carl for stepping in and making sure the show could carry on. Again, I've had numerous texts tonight, throughout the day actually, just identifying to me how amazing it went, how smooth it went, and how professional and how seamless everything went with my absence. And honestly, it fills me with pride, absolute pride, to know that even though that I'm not there, the league is in very capable hands. So, without any further ado, let's go through the roundup. So, of course, this is going to be a fixture I'm going to keep going now because I think it's really important for you to see it. The 5% bonus goals, the own goals, the scoring hat-tricks, and of course the weekly team bonus slides there, just identifying to you how things are worked out. And it's really important for you to know this, for at least then you know what to expect. So the 5% bonuses, or the milestones, they're in multiples of 5, as you're aware. It's taken from the initial registering weight that you made. So then that's your baseline weight, and then it works out everything from there. When you hit a milestone, a specific milestone, you will have then 3 goals issued to your team on that night. If you have 2 milestones in a season, that's great. Any more, it's carried over to the season afterwards. So as this season now is a final season before a reshuffle, if you hit the 3rd milestone this season, your new team will benefit from those goals. Just for you to know that. Own goals, same as every season. You start the season with a registering weight, so that if you're an existing member, that is carried over from the last week from the last season. If you're a new member, you would have had an initial weigh-in where that is your season starting weight. If you go above your season starting weight, it's an own goal. If you gain again at that point, it's another own goal. If you're over the season starting weight, however, you've lost weight but not reached the season starting weight area again, you won't incur an own goal, but you also won't contribute any goals to your team. You'll only contribute goals to your team when you're underneath the season starting weight. Hat-tricks then, of course, they are, it's an extra goal for every 3 weeks of weight loss. Doesn't have to be consecutive. So if you've lost in week 1, lost in week 2, gained this week but lost next week, that'll be your hat-trick. The hat-tricks are not carried over from one season to another. So if you are in week 13 and 14 and you've lost in those 2, and you are expecting then in the week then of the next season to have a hat-trick, it won't apply. They are reset after every season. And then, of course, for you to see your weekly team bonus scenarios here. So if 1 to 2 of your players lose weight, that's an extra goal. 5 or 6, it's an extra 3 goals. 9 or more players, it's an extra 5 goals, and everything in between. You can see that from there as well. If you want to know more, if you want to read this in depth in your own time, of course, you can visit manvfat.com/manvfat football rules on site, and then there you can then see the rules right there for you to read through them. It's not just the weight loss rules as well, it's the footballing rules on there as well, if you'd like to have a little read of those yourself. Moving on. So this is how last night looks. So we had 108 attending. We had 47 pitch goals, which is less than last week, but is still an impressive amount of goals. 57 scales goals, which is up on last week. And we had 42 coaches bonus goals there, which is reflective of the Rumble, and of course all the bonus goals that you can see on the left-hand side. So if we look at Goyer first, tracker bonus goals. This is for the teams who've hit that threshold of amount of people tracking. So that goes to purple, red, green, orange, and white. It's lush to see how many teams have taken on the mentality there of tracking being important, and they keep doing it. Great move personally to have the captains to be accountable for their team's tracking. It encourages ownership of the team. It makes sure that everyone then is chipping into each other. They know exactly what's going on. You haven't got that one little reminder in the week. It's a conversation that happens throughout the week. And I think it's really important because you can speak to any person when it comes to the weight loss. They'll say that the biggest impact they've had is tracking. Pink, blue and black for the Copper League as well. You have earned an extra goal for your team for your tracking efforts. Well done, guys. Attendance then, purple and for Goir, and for Copper then, blue and maroon. You've earned an extra goal for the amount of attendance you've had this week. That's absolutely tremendous. You've got to be in it to win it, of course. And then, of course, the team loss bonus goals. Red and light blue for the Copper. Red for Goir and light blue Copper League. You have earned 2 goals for each for your teams then for your team loss, weight loss. Amazing, guys. Absolutely spot on. Luke Davis for the Goir League. You are the season 6 percentage leader. And of course, for Copper League, Chris Stevens, you were there as a season 6 percentage leader as well. Congratulations, guys. It's lush to see how much effort is going into the team cohesion. It's brilliant. Right. So we can see now that we've got a slightly different layout in this one, mainly because of the amazing losers there. There's a few more in there because of the joint scores or the amount of loss that has happened there. But we'll start on the left. Weekly team loss. Thinner to win it at 5.7. Fattest Luther at 5.5. Incredible Bollocks 3.7. Sporting a beer gut then at 0.3. Markup on fasting at 1.6. And Frying Dutchman breaking even on the weight loss. For the Gold League. Copper League then, Scranrads breaking even, Vinder Blues at 1.2, Pink Panthers then at 5.7, Fatsy at 9.2, Forest Green Bloaters breaking even, and Fat and Furious then at 2.7, bringing us as a combined weekly club loss at 27.2 kilos, which gives us a total club loss after 3 weeks at 143.3 kilos. That's a person. That's mental. 3 weeks, guys. 3 weeks, and that is where we're at. By 6 weeks now, we'll be hitting the 300 mark. By 9 weeks, we could be hitting 600, 450. 9 weeks about 450, and then of course then by 12 weeks we could be hitting that 600 easily if we hit the same trajectory, guys, which is an amazing effort. I couldn't be prouder of that. Milestones this week. 5% Club has had numerous new entries. James Hartree, Mike Rees and Danny Davey, you have entered into our 5% Club. Nobody can take that away from you. There's only one way to go there, and that's gunning it to 10%. Couldn't be prouder. And honestly, guys, you're doing amazing already. So keep going. Keep doing this. You're going to be absolutely fantastic. Going with amazing losers. Josh Howells at 2.4. Jake Williams at 2.2. Owen Llewellyn, Tom Scott and Kaiwa, then you are at 1.9 kilos and joined third at the amazing losers for Goyer's League. We then got on the Copper amazing losers, Paul Williams, welcome back, mate, at 5.6 kilo loss. Mike Thomas at 4.3 and Lee Osborne then smashing out a 4.2 kilo loss there. Absolutely tremendous, guys, and couldn't be prouder of every single one of you. You can see that each and every one of you is on it. You want to make this difference, not only for your team, but for yourself as well, which is great to see. And let's move on. The football. This is what we all enjoy on the Tuesday night. We enjoy the way in. We've got that trepidation of where we're going to be, and then we can get a chance to get that energy out and have a kick about. So then we'll go first of all from left, and then we'll work on the right columns then, of course. So then Sporting a Beer Gut against Thinner to win it. The pitch score was 4-0 to Thinner to win it. The scales goal was -1 to 9 to Thinner to win it. Tracking was equal at 3-all, and the bonuses were 2 goals to 5 to Thinner to win it there, giving an overall of 15 goals to 4 to Thinner to win it, which is a huge result, guys. Absolutely amazing. Flying Dutchman against Incredible Bulks next, which the pitch score was 11-0 to the Incredible Bulks, -2 to 9 on the scales to the Incredible Bulks, matching there at 3-all on tracking and bonus goals, which gave an overall of 26 goals to 4 to the Incredible Bulks. Congratulations there. Fat Astuta against Marco Banfastin was our final game on the Goir League, and it was 4-0 on the pitch to Marco Banfastin. However, scales was 9 goals to 4 to Fat Astuta. Tracking was equal at 3-all, and bonuses then were 5 goals to 3 to Fat Astuta, giving an overall of 17-14 to Fat Astuta, which is a huge turnaround for the scales, and we can then see exactly how much of an impact the scales has on the football. And this is what I mean when I say to people just to really just focus on the week. Don't focus on the game. Don't focus on your opponent. Focus on you and on the week, because it's incredibly important, because that is exactly what you can do. You can turn it round in the week, and then the game of football afterwards. Then you run the risk, of course, if they run away with it, but at the same point, you've already put the legwork in throughout the week there, which is brilliant to see. Forest Green Bloaters against Pink Panthers was their first game for Copper. That result on the pitch was 5-4 to the Pink Panthers. The scales result then was 5-4 to the Pink Panthers as well. Tracking was 2 goals to 3 to the Pink Panthers, and the bonuses to 2 goals to 3 to the Pink Panthers, giving an overall there of 12 goals to 16 to the Pink Panthers. Congratulations there. Fat and Furious against Vinder Blues next. It was 5-4 to Vinder Blues on the pitch. It was 10 goals to 4 on the scales to Fat and Furious. Tracking was equal at 3-all, and bonuses were equal at 4-all, and gave an overall then of 21 goals to 16 to the Fat and Furious. Again, scales, the legwork, that is where the prize really relies, really, isn't it? And this is where it's also important for you to really be on it throughout the week. Fazio against Scranrath was our final game for Copper. The pitch scores 2 goals to 8 to Scranrath. The scales was 7-all. Tracking was 3-all, and bonuses was 5 goals to 3 to Fazio, giving an overall of 17 goals to 21 at Scranrath. And this is where, even though you can clearly see both teams really, really pushed it for the scales, that then you can see that where the football comes into play on close games. You've got this element there where if it's neck and neck going up into the game, the performance on the pitch really does matter. However, you can also see how important throughout these games it is to have that positive mindset of pushing it throughout the week and being ready from potentially that Wednesday or Thursday post weigh-in. It's food for thought. Let's move on. So our scales. Let's do that again, is it? Let's have a little go. So our league tables, guys, we've got them both there. We've got Goir and Copper right in front of you for the overall. So then Goir, then we've got Finito in at first place. Second is Incredible Bulks. Third, Fat Astuta. Marco Banfastin, Sporting Biergat, and then Frying Dutchman. For the Copper League, then we've got Scranrath in first place. Pink Panthers, then is Fat and Furious. Forest Green Bloaters, Fazio, and then the Vinder Blues. However, you look then at the Scales League, and it flips over completely. And you can see then that there's some who are on the top who are now falling, and you can see the ones who are coming on the bottom, they are climbing their way up. So then in Goir, then we've got Incredible Bulks, then we've got Fat Astuta, Sporting Biergat, Thinner to Win It, Marco Banfastin, and the Frying Dutchman. And then, of course, in the Copper League, we've got Fat and Furious at first place, Pink Panthers at second, Forest Green Bloaters, Fazio. Then we've got Scranrath, and we've got Vinder Blues then at the bottom of the Copper League. And you can see that it's still really close there. Really close, guys. And one result will flip everything on its head. We're only 3 weeks in, of course. Okay, so we've got our team of the week, guys, and the team of the week is clear to see here. So we'll go through it and we'll go from there. These are the players that have been voted by your captains for the team of the week. So please feel proud of this, guys. This is somewhat data driven, but at the same point, guys, it is who your captain feels and your team feels deserves scale of the week, which is amazing to see. So first of all, we've got Owen Llewellyn at 1.9 kilo loss. Josh Howells then at 2.4. We've then got Ross Thomas then. Although he hit a gain last week, he's come back this week, hit it straight on, and has come out with a loss. Fantastic result there. Danny Davey, Mike Rees, and James Hartree then all being entered into a 5% milestone club there. Congratulations, guys. It's lush to see the photos of you celebrating that with everyone as well. Scott May chipping away at nearing his 25% loss. Right, and he's just chipping away at that weight loss. He's not trying anything drastic at that point. He's just chipping away and going for it, which is brilliant to see. Byron's overweight. Then you had 2 kilo loss. Jake Williams a 2.2 kilo loss. Adam Rayson just consistently losing. Right, I've mentioned this before. I'm sure I have, but the amount of times that he's jumped on the scales, hasn't got a clue what's going to go. Doesn't know whether he's going to gain, whether he's going to lose, isn't sure. And the moment you inform him that he's lost, that infectious smile just comes over his face, and you just can't help but feel that buzz of you genuinely just made someone's day. And it's such a nice feeling. Mike Thomas, congratulations, 4.3 kilo loss there, mate. Brilliant. And our season 6 percentage leader for Goyer, Luke Davis, 1.6 kilo loss there. Amazing to see, and you're nearing that 10%, mate. You're nearing it. Keep going. Honestly, it's a fantastic journey that I'm seeing you on at the moment. Well done. And the Rumble. So you can see the numbers have changed slightly there now. So we've got 135 members. Okay. So this week is the cutoff. Okay. Any new members joining from here on will not be entered into the Rumble. It's unfair on anybody else who's been drafting for the last 3 weeks. However, it would be quite unfair that if somebody joined slightly later and they didn't have an opportunity to compete. So they'll still have 11 weeks of grafting to do. Okay. So this is how it looks at the moment. We've got 73 remaining, which means 62 have been eliminated. Now, it may look like a big number, but realistically, I can imagine that those 73 that's there now, it's potential. It's like we're going to lose a few more. But however, I can see that we've got individuals who are absolutely on it right now, which is lush to see. Just for you to know what the Rumble is, if this is the first you're hearing of it, or if it's a circumstance that you've heard of Rumble but you're not sure what's going on, this is to just simply to promote consistency, not looking at those massive losses and then returning with a massive gain because you've done something which is completely out of character and inconsistent. It's about getting to know your own body, working on how you're going to implement a strategy that can help you lose weight but also make you sustainable, and you can keep that going. And it's about promoting healthy practices, really. So the way that we do that then is that you go through this and you will compete in this on a weekly basis. So then you'll stay in the Rumble for the amount of weeks that you've either lost or you've maintained your weight. If you are unable to attend, and it's for purposes, for instance, shift pattern in work, family emergencies, circumstances that have come up which realistically are out of your control, talk to us as player facilitators, assistant coaches, myself. Send us a text. So let us know what's going on. We're human. You're human. Things happen. And I don't think it's our place to halt your progress. I think if we were to be the person who would be doing the whole thing of, well, if you're not here, tough, you're out. That isn't a healthy practice for you. It's not a healthy practice for us either, because we want to support you. And by acknowledging that this isn't the center of your universe, by acknowledging that you are doing everything you can to be there and to do what you can, you've got other avenues to support as well. We'll do what we can. Realistically, if you were in a position where you weren't taking this very seriously and you'd come in and you'd weigh in the following week, even if you couldn't make it for whatever reason, and you gained, you'd be out. So realistically, us giving you that opportunity to try and just support you whilst you have to support others, I think it's important for us to do. And this is why we're being in a position where we're using an element of discretion to work out exactly and give those points of authorization when we can. Scores wise, of course, we've got 9. If you've got 9 members or more still in the Rumble each week, you will have an extra 3 goals given to your team for you to bumper up your goals. If you have 4 or more, you are still in the Rumble, you'll have an extra 2 goals. And if you've still got an extra member in the team, it's an extra goal. So just for you to be aware on how it works. And this is the last slide. This is the match day 4 fixtures, guys. So next week, Tuesday, 9th of May, let's start that again. The Flying Dutchman against Fatistuta is at 7 o'clock in the Goyer League. Then we've got a half 7, we've got Marco Banfastin against Tinituinet. And then we've got Sport Nabiagat against Incredible Bulks at 8 p.m. In the Copper League, we've got Fat and Furious against Fatsio at 7 o'clock. Scranra against the Pink Panthers at 7:30. And then we've got the Forest Green Bloaters against Vinda Blues at 8 o'clock. That has been the roundup for this week, guys. And honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure doing it because honestly, it is the highlight of my week, realistically. It's a way of me reflecting on something that I genuinely feel makes such a difference to everyone's life. It's made a huge difference to my life. It's making huge differences to individuals who are members here as well. And I'm also hearing about individuals who are just listening to this and like to keep up with what's going on in MVFF. We're actually getting a presence of people who are not members who are listening in and are following and are enjoying this. So then if you're listening to this, guys, thank you so much for your support. It's really, really, really appreciated. Diolch yn fawr am gwrando. Really yn werthfawrogi fe. Just a word of advice from myself. You can lose big every single week, right? You can make those sacrifices and lose kilos upon kilos every week. However, you've got to look at it as a point of whether that's really consistent or not, and whether it's sustainable. And I'd argue it's not. You'd go through a point where at some point your body is going to plateau. It's going to get to a point where it's going to try and keep the energy that it's got, which means that it's going to start storing the weight and the fat and any nutrients that it can make use of as future time. It's going to hold it. It's just going to hold it. So adapting those healthy habits of moving more, having a deficit in your in the amount of energy that you're taking in, or the calories you're taking in, to the calories you're burning, having an element of deficit in that, and being in a position where you can see and honestly get to know your own body to see whether what you're doing is actually sustainable is key to all of this. The way that you know what you're doing is tracking. Tracking is so important. If you track your food and you track what you're doing and you are linking up your FitnessPal to your Strava or your Fitbits or whatever you can, or you're taking note of what activities you've been doing, you can then have an estimate of, right, well, if I'm doing this, this is the amount of energy that I'm actually burning, which means that I can work out roughly the energy that I'm likely to need to consume. And obviously having that deficit there helps lose weight. Now, it's not rocket science. The rocket science part of it is actually adapting what you're and learning how you can cope with those urges as a human being. So as long as you can stay motivated and be consistent in all this, you will get there. You will do it and you will succeed where so many other people are succeeding right now and doing an amazing job of it. If you want any advice, if you want any hints, tips, strategies, whatever, the best source of that are your teammates, are the friends that you make through ManVFat, the community that we've got here. We've got so much content coming out in the official groups, and the website and the dugout are amazing. But at the same point, there is another avenue of advice and another avenue of perspective that you can use, and it is your teammates. It is those people who you probably would never have communicated with had you not joined. And that's the beauty of Man Be Fat, is that you can, it's not just about losing weight and playing football. You've got a community of friends that you can rely on, which is absolutely gorgeous. Updates on what's going on this week for you to just be aware. Obviously, we've got the kickabouts that are going on throughout the week. We've got the walks that go out on the Monday morning, not Monday morning, Monday evening. Next week on the Wednesday, the 10th, we're looking at possibly getting a few of us together to attend the quiz night. But one of the ones that I want to do, I just identify, and I'm just getting a little prompt up here on my phone as well, so I can ensure that I give you the right details for it, is that we've got a Saturday morning cold water dip in the sea. Now, there are studies that have said how important and how great for your mental health, your well-being, your mindset, and just everything else a cold water dip is, and it's worth you giving it a go. It's early. Don't get me wrong. Right, we're looking at starting at 8 in the morning down in Oxford. So we're meeting in the car park there, and we're going down. It's on Spond. We've got a few attending already. So please get involved, guys. It's the great way, not only of just doing things you probably wouldn't have done beforehand, but it's a great way of getting to know people who are in it. We're in two separate leagues now. There is a possibility that you may be playing at the same time as somebody else is playing. You've crossed paths and you've never had that conversation. Getting involved in these things helps you bridge those communication points where you can get to know new people, and probably people you never have got to know beforehand. It's been an absolute joy doing this roundup, guys. I feel the love this season. It's awesome to see. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to it.